What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Happy Wednesday, Facebook Familia. Super duper shout out to everybody out there. This your boy Sid coming to you live here from Tampa in the lab. Shout out to my Facebook Familia, my podcast Familia, my blogging Familia, YouTube, wherever you're looking at this live and or the recording. Super duper shout out to you and thank you for joining me here. I know you could have been anywhere in the world and you chose to hang out with me here for a few moments to drop a few nuggets on my network marketing friends. As you have checked out the title here, to my network marketing buddies and pals, are you utilizing this very well-known tool that is so underutilized inside of your network marketing business? Now, what do I mean by this underutilized tool? That's actually pretty well known for a lot of people, but there's a significant amount of people that don't have a clue about this particular thing that I'm talking about here today. Now, what am I talking about? Now, a lot of people have gone through a lot of color training. If you're going through my training when it comes down to closing, you know, I kind of teach personality types and elements, fire, ice, wind, and water. A lot of people teaching in colors, a lot of people teaching in animals. But I want to take it down the rabbit hole just a little bit further today, because what most people fail to realize and what they forget is that this game of networking is all about relationships. It's all about relationships. So let's look at it, since it's all about relationships. Let's take it down the rabbit hole a lot further and get a little bit more advanced than just talking about the personality types. Are they a red? Are they a green? Are they this? Are they that? Are they an urchin? Are they an octopus? You know, are they a wind? Are they a fire? Are they water? Let's take that down the rabbit hole just a little bit deeper. Now, what do I mean by this? When I say that the game is all about relationships, I want you to think about this. If network marketing is about relationships, if you're going to be making money from the relationships that you've built in the past and a lot of relationships that you're building currently right now, presently, and different relationships that you're looking to accumulate here in the future, I want you to think about that keyword of relationship. Now, when you think about the keyword of relationship, I want you to think about the fact that if you have a girlfriend, if you have a boyfriend, if you have a significant other, if you have a husband, if you have a wife, whatever the case may be, these are what? Quote unquote relationships. Now, there's a little quiz that's out there. That I would highly recommend that if you're in any type of relationship whatsoever, that you actually take the quiz and you have your significant other take the quiz as well. Now, before I even get into that, I'm going to look at my comments here really quickly just to see who in here knows what quiz I'm talking about from a relationship standpoint. From a relationship standpoint, you have a relationship with the woman, you have a relationship with the man, you have a relationship with a significant other, you have a boyfriend, a girlfriend, you're married, whatever it is. Who has an idea of this quiz that I'm talking about? Now, I'm going to peep down and look at my phone here really quickly so I don't mess with it on the computer, just to kind of look at some of the comments. But type in the comments here really quickly if you have an idea of the quiz that I am actually referring to. This is weird. I got double voice going on over here. If you've got an idea of the quiz that I'm actually referring to, type it in the comment section. What quiz is Sid talking about when it comes down to relationships that I should actually check out, that I should do, and then I should have my significant other do as well? What's that quiz? Beef, you said you and your wife have done it. Okay, what is it, Beef? Tell everybody what the quiz is. Mr. Anthony Davis, aka Beef, my man. What's the quiz, Beef? Tell everybody what's the quiz. I'm just curious. Type it in there. What's the quiz? Because this is going to help people when it comes down to network marketing and building your business a lot deeper. Because I'm going to take this down the rabbit hole here tonight. So get ready. Talk to me, Beef. What is it? I'm looking at the comments. He says how compatible. Maybe that's a quiz. That's not actually what I'm talking about. Let me go ahead and get right into it. It's called the 5 love languages. How many of you have ever heard of the 5 love languages? How many of you have ever heard of the 5 love languages quiz? Once you pop off of this particular live, whether you're looking at it live, recorded, whatever the case may be, if you have never taken the 5 love languages quiz, you need to go Google it and take it. It's going to take you a whole whopping 5 minutes. Now, some of you are going to take this quiz. Some of you are going to take this quiz and you're going to figure out why your significant other acts a certain way. You're going to figure out why you act a certain way. You're going to figure out why you receive things a certain way, why you don't like certain things, why you love certain things. You're going to actually figure this out. And I'm going to tell you right now, even though I'm talking about this from a network marketing perspective, this is going to help you inside of your relationship as well. Now, I'm not Steve Harvey. I'm not a relationship coach. And I don't play one on television, so I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole when it comes down to that. I'm going to stick in my lane that I know of network marketing. But this is what I do understand. When you think about this specific quiz and what it can do, here are the 5 love languages. Number 1 is words of affirmation. So the 5 love languages are words of affirmation, quality time, acts of service, gifts, and physical touch. Those are the 5 love languages. Words of affirmation, quality time, acts of service, gifts, and physical touch. Those are the 5 love languages. Now, how do you apply that to relationships and how do you apply that to your network marketing business? Let's go down the rabbit hole. First of all, when we think about words of affirmation, okay, when we think about words of affirmation, those are simply words that people like to hear all the time to lift them up. Honey, you did a great job. Baby, thank you so much. I appreciate everything you do. Just that love of showing them that you care about those little things that they do. That you've shown somebody that you actually appreciate them. You're telling them all the good stuff. Damn, baby, you look good today. You smacking mama on the booty just because. I mean, if you ain't smacking her on the booty, the husband at work might be smacking her on the booty. So somebody better be doing it. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. You got to let her know that she looks good in that dress. She looks good in those jeans. You know, she did a great job on this. She did a great job on that. That's words of affirmation. Quality time. When you think about quality time, that means that what? People like to spend time with each other. They don't need you to go out and buy this gift and that gift and this gift and that gift. If you're spending time holding my hand, if you're spending time just talking to me, we're just sitting around looking at TV, you know, we're walking around in the park, we're doing this, we're doing that. It's quality time, okay? That person appreciates quality time. That might be high up on their scale, okay? Acts of service. Acts of service is simply things that you are doing for people. So I'm going to speak really quickly here from a relationship side, and I'm going to jump right into the networking side because I feel like I got to hit this to bleed it in. And I'm going to speak it from a male perspective because I'm a male and I can't speak from a female perspective. So from an acts of service perspective, if the person that I'm with is about acts of service, okay, then they like me to do certain things. You know, I get her car washed. You know, I get the dry cleaning done. Oh, she don't do dinner tonight. I went out and I ordered dinner. I did all these little things that meant the world to her. Screw me. It ain't about you. It ain't about you. Those things that meant the world to her. Okay? So if acts of service is at the top of her scale, if acts of service is at the top of her scale, that means that, hey, I got to do this, I got to do that. She likes it when I does this. She likes it when she broke her iPhone and you went and got a brand new iPhone without her even thinking about it. You know, she lost her makeup and you went and fixed that. You went and replaced all that makeup because that's what she likes, but it's those acts of service, those things that you were thinking about. Oh, the grass needed to be cut. You went out there and cut the grass without anybody saying anything. Acts of service. Number 4, gifts. Okay, if that person likes gifts, that person likes Gucci, that person likes Prada, that person likes, you know, Michael Kors, they like Rolex, they like cars, they like this, they like whatever. They like gifts. You're constantly bringing them gifts, right? And then last but not least is physical touch. Okay, physical touch. If physical touch is at the top of somebody's scale, and you are not doing that from a relationship standpoint, I can promise you that you are driving him or her crazy. And there's a good chance that someone who does understand these 5 love languages that I'm talking about right now will start to tap into that physical touch because that's what that person needs. That's what that person wants. And if you're not giving it to them, they got to get it from somebody. Period. End of story. Now, this is a book. It's also a full-blown quiz. I highly recommend that you read the book. However, the quiz will take you a whole whopping 7 minutes. It'll take you a whole whopping 7 minutes. Now, if you're in a relationship right now and your significant other doesn't want to take that quiz, I don't know what to tell you about your relationship. But I'm not here to be Steve Harvey and be a relationship coach. I'm talking about network marketing. So how in the world does this apply to network marketing? Typically, we're talking about what? Colors. We're talking about personality types. We're talking about this. We're talking about that. Now, let's bleed this into the 5 love languages. You have a warm market. You have a warm market of people that you are afraid to talk to, or some people that you have talked to. And after you have talked to them for a little while, it's your cousin, it's your sister, it's your brother, it's your baby mama, it's your ex-wife, it's your friend, it's your coworker, it's your neighbor, it's the HOA president. It is whoever it is, whoever it may be. If you know after spending some time with them, and I can tell you right now that some of these love languages you can actually figure out without someone taking the test. You can actually figure it out without some of them taking the test. However, I'm just going to tell you that from a relationship standpoint, you definitely should take the test yourself. You should take the test yourself and have your significant other take the test. When I took the test, I realized the things that were my hot buttons, and I realized things that worked and things that didn't work. I realized why certain relationships worked and certain relationships didn't work. Okay, because of where I was inside of the love language and where that person was inside of the love language. So you know your top love languages. You got to know that person's top love languages so each other can appease each other. Okay, it becomes a full-blown ping pong match. Now, if you are building a network marketing team, you're looking to build a strong squad, and you've been knowing Johnny for 10 years, you've been knowing Mary for 5 years, you've been knowing Billy for 50 years, and obviously they're just friends of yours or neighbors or coworkers or whatever the case may be. They're not taking a love language test, because that would be weird if you're trying to recruit me and you're sending me a freaking love language test. Like, that would be weird. But if you've been hanging out with that person for a while, you've been knowing them for a while, and you know that they get off on every time somebody tells them good job, they smile all the time. You know, they love getting pats on the back. They love when their name is called. They love getting praised. Okay, they love that. If you know that they love that over and over and over, then you know that their number one love language 9 times out of 10 is words of affirmation. So if their number one love language in this particular example is words of affirmation, then you need to be telling Billy how great Billy is all the time. You need to be telling Billy how good of a job he does at his job. You need to tell Billy how good of a job he keeps his car clean, why his freaking house is always manicured, why this person is this, why this person is that, because they see you, quote unquote, paying attention to them. They see you, quote unquote, constantly pressing the button on their love language. Now, check this out. If they are in a relationship right now, remember, this has nothing to do with the relationship that I'm talking about right now, but if they're in a relationship right now and you go to recruit that person into your network marketing business and they are constantly hearing their number one love language over and 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 over again, then 9 times out of 10, there's a good chance that they're going to join you because they feel that you know them. Hello, McFly. Let's get into gifts here real quick. The reason why I want to get into gifts here real quick, because you see a lot of this inside of network marketing, AKA direct sales. So if I know someone's top love language is gifts, I know they like stuff. They shop all the time. They're on Facebook all the time with their Gucci bags, with their Prada bags, you know what I mean, with their Rolexes, with their cars, with their houses. They like stuff. They're a stuff person. There's nothing wrong with that. Everybody has different love languages, right? So if we know that their number one love language is gifts, and you happen to recruit that person inside of your business, guess what your ass should be doing? You should be sending them gifts. Now, nobody said that you had to go buy them a Porsche or a Lamborghini. Nobody said that you had to go buy them a $20,000 bag. You know what I mean? You had to go drop some money on a Birkin. But I will tell you, if you got somebody in your downline that's making you $20,000 a month and you can't go spend $5,000 on them, something wrong with you. Something wrong with you. You got somebody that's making you 30 grand a month inside of your business and you can't go drop 10 bands on them. Something is wrong with you. If you've got somebody that's making you $5,000 a month and you know that their number one love language is gifts, if you can't go out and buy them a Rollie, if you can't go out and buy them a pair of $2,000 shoes that they like or whatever the case may be, you are going to miss the boat. I remember back, I guess it was 8 years ago, 9 years ago, no, what is this? This is 2020. So this was 2010, I guess it was, when we were rocking out that company that rhymes with Cialis, that sells milkshakes, I don't know, that one that, you're throwing up gang signs and all that good shit. So we were in that particular company, and I remember that we did a big, gigantic event in Miami, and I had a private party. I had a private party afterwards, right? Just for my team. And there was probably maybe 400 plus people there, right? And with that particular private party, I gave away purses and watches. So I gave away purses and watches. Now, the people that were really, really big on gifts, I can tell you right now that they still have the purses, they still have the watches. Almost all the people still have the shirts because everybody had this, TTO shirt and, we partied like it's 1999, blah, blah, blah. Like probably about 80-90% of those people still have the shirts because I see them on Facebook every now and then, and it just warms my heart to see that somebody still has a shirt from 10 years ago. But someone that is really big on gifts that got a Movado watch or got a Gucci watch or got a Michael Kors watch or got a Gucci bag or a Louis bag, whatever the case may be, they remember that. They remember that because guess what? That's their freaking love language. Acts of service. Let's look at acts of service. How do you utilize acts of service inside of your direct selling MLM business? From an acts of service perspective, that means that you're always doing something for someone. You're always helping them in some way, shape, or form. So if this person is my neighbor, maybe so for an example, if I knew that my neighbor, for an example, that their number one love language was acts of service, right? I have an extremely long driveway to get down to my house. My driveway is so long that I have a four-wheeler that I use to take my freaking trash to the end of the street. That's how long my stinking driveway is. So I've got to pass a couple of houses to get to my house. That means that either you are supposed to be here or you are not supposed to be here. And if you are not supposed to be here, it is a problem. But that is a whole nother Facebook Live in itself. If I knew that my neighbor's number one language was acts of service and I was trying to recruit my neighbor, every time the trash man came on Tuesday while I was bringing my trash can down, guess what I would do? I would bring his or hers down as well. And I would drop their trash can off at the same time because I knew that they had to walk all the way down that driveway at the same time to get their trash can. So they see that I care about them. I don't have to do that. That's acts of service, right? If I've got the car wash guy washing my car, I got the car wash guy already at my house washing my car, and I see my neighbor's car dirty. I know that their number one love language is acts of service. I'm going to tell my guy, hey, look, do me a favor. Knock on their door and tell them that said, I got a car wash for them because I want to make sure that their car is all polished up. It's on me 100%. They go and wash their car. Acts of service. Guess what I look like? A freaking rock star. I look like a rock star. That goes 10,000 miles because guess what? Somebody else didn't see that. Somebody else didn't take that time to do that little extra thing that went a long way. You see, if your number one love language is words of affirmation, and my number one love language is gifts, which it isn't, by the way, but I'm just using this as an example. Your number one love language is words of affirmation. My number one love language is gifts. If you keep doing the opposite, it does not do anything for me. If you keep doing the opposite, it does not do anything for me. It does not do anything for that person, okay? Most people keep speaking from their perspective and they screw it up because they keep speaking from their perspective. Guess what? You're already in the business. What, you trying to re-recruit yourself? You trying to re-recruit yourself? You know what I mean? Like, stop that. Joel says, what's my love language? I'm actually not going to get into that, Joel. I'm really not going to get into that. I'm at a different place in my life, so I'm not going to break down my love languages because then people are going to be tapping on them inside of my inbox. So I'm just going to let people try to figure it out on their own. But I love you, Joel. You know, you're in my organization. I love you. Thank you for asking. and I know you're asking for a different reason, but I'm going to be smart about this one here. So remember, you got to understand that if I'm speaking from my perspective, I need to be speaking from their perspective. You're already in. So what is it? What is it? What is it? Okay, Joel, I'll give you one. Number one is words of affirmation. That's number one. That's number one. I won't give you anything else. All right, physical touch. Take that off. Like, you don't need to really be applying. You apply physical touch at a 10% level in network marketing. At a 10% level, you're going to apply physical touch with that particular person. Now, why do I mean at a 10% level? Physical touch definitely goes hand in hand when it comes down to a relationship. But some people just like to be touched. So if I'm talking to somebody and I know that their number one love language is physical touch, maybe I have my hand on their shoulder while I'm talking to them. Maybe I have my hand on their back, on the back of their, backside or whatever, not their butt or anything, or maybe their hand is on the table and maybe I might touch it when there's a particular sentence or word or something that I want to get across, because I know that their number one love language is physical touch. From a relationship standpoint, if you are a man and your woman's number one love language is physical touch, guess what? She want to be kissed all the time. She want to be hugged all the time. She want their head rubbed all the time. She want those feet rubbed all the time. She want those thighs, that booty. She want you to hold hands. She want it all. She want it all because that's her number one love language. You got to understand that. And if you don't do it, I promise you there's a line of mofos who would do it. Don't you ever, ever, ever forget that. Whatever you won't do, there's 10 million other people out there that would do it times 5. Tighten up so you don't lose who you're with. Okay? Now, let's get into the quality time one. Quality time. Quality time. All right. So with quality time, that means that person just likes to spend time with somebody. So if I know that someone's in my organization and their number one love language is quality time, spending 20 minutes on the phone with them goes a long way. Spending 30 minutes on the phone with them goes a long way. Out of the 20 minutes, 10 minutes of it might be about the company. It might be about business, whatever the case may be. But the other 10 minutes just might be about life. Just might be about what's going on inside of their world. You being a real person for a change instead of being a quote unquote robot and looking at that person like they are a dollar sign. They like quality time. So maybe they're in a situation where people don't give them quality time. Most people don't get this. You see, if somebody's number one love language is quality time and they're in a relationship and they're not getting the quality time that they need, but now they have an upline or a business partner that's giving them quality time, they will navigate to that person. I'm not talking about navigate to them from a relationship perspective. I'm talking about navigate to them from the fact that that person is constantly touching their love language, which means that that person is listening. Ladies and gentlemen, God gave you 2 big ass ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Use it. Some of us act like we have 2 mouths. Some of us act like we have 2 mouths. You got 2 ears. You need to become freaking Dumbo. You need to become Dumbo, because you know why? Especially this, and I'm going to say this real quick from a relationship standpoint, especially this. Ladies and gentlemen, you really, really, really got to pay attention to the fact that people love people that actually listen to them. You have to listen. You got to listen, because people will tell you everything you need to know if you freaking listen. But you have to listen to comprehend and understand where they're coming from. You don't listen to respond. Most people just listen to respond. It's like, let me listen to what you got to say so I can dagger you with what I've been sitting on and you want to say this or you want to say that? Okay, let me go ahead, get it all out. As soon as they finish talking, you got. That means you didn't listen. All you did was listen enough to get the things that you needed to shoot your bullets, okay? Put your freaking gun down. Put your freaking gun down. If you put your gun down and open up your ears and listen to comprehend, now you can turn around and feed information right back to that person. And when you turn around and feed information right back to that person, oh my God, things change dramatically. You know why they change dramatically? Because now they look at you like you are speaking from my point of view. You are legitimately speaking from my point of view, and this person didn't listen, 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 and now all of a sudden, there's somebody listening. Here, let me give you an idea. Have you ever seen an ugly dude with a fine woman? Have you ever seen an ugly dude with a super duper fine woman? I mean, I've seen it all the time, okay? There's only a couple of reasons. Number one, he's have a big old wallet. He might got a super big wallet, okay? That might be one reason. Number two, he might got a super big. Not really, some of y'all was going down the wrong road with that. Stop it with your mind. Stop it. What he has is a super big wallet with some super big ears. He's got some super big wallet with some super big ears. Because guess what? The person before that person maybe didn't listen to mama. She was fine. And he had it going on too. She was fine. He had money, blah, 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 but there was no listening, right? So it was all about me. It's all about me. It's all about me. It's all about me. And then all of a sudden, this ugly dude comes around that ain't got so much to bring to the table, but he's got some humongous freaking Dumbo ears. And these humongous Dumbo ears, this woman is like, oh my God, where did he come from? Where did he come from? See, this you apply to your business, ladies and gentlemen. You apply the same thing to your business. Now, why do you apply this to your business? It's really simple. In both situations, guess who you're dealing with? People. You're not dealing with a dog. You're not dealing with a freaking salamander. You're not dealing with a bird. You're dealing with a person. So if you're dealing with a person, the more you know about people, the better. The more you know about people, the better. We are in the people business. We're literally in the people business. You got to understand that. I'm driving down the driveway yesterday, and there was a couple coming down my driveway. As I just told y'all, like I had a pretty long driveway. And if you're coming down my driveway, you're either supposed to be here or not supposed to be here. It's one or the other. Like there's a reason why there's infrared cameras and no trespassing signs and all types of crazy shit going on because you ain't supposed to be here. So people coming down the driveway, and I'm like, I don't know who that is, but I need to peep out, who's coming to my house. And as they stopped, I started talking, and it happened to be my neighbors that were, down the street or whatever. So I'm talking to my neighbors, and one of them is on a bike here, and one of them is on a bike here. Okay, one of them is on a bike here, and one of them is on a bike here. Now, as we're talking, I'm looking at the wife when I'm talking to her. I'm looking at the husband when I'm talking to her, and I'm not giving all my attention to the husband because that would be disrespectful because I'm ignoring the wife. And when the wife talks, it will be disrespectful to give all of the husband all of the attention or vice versa. So I've got to navigate my eyeballs. Most people don't understand this because why? They're people. They're people. They need to know that, hey, somebody's talking to me. Somebody's paying attention. Doesn't it irritate you when people are talking to you and they look down or they're looking around and they're not, it's kind of like they're in a whole nother world, or their phone rings or something and they look down at their phone and somebody's talking and they just look down at their phone. It's kind of like when I'm talking to people and they look down at their phone, I just stop talking. No, I'm listening. No, you're not. You're looking at your phone. I'm just going to stop talking for a second, and then when you stop looking at your phone, then I'll continue. Okay? So I'm paying attention, right? You got to pay attention to that person. Now, I wasn't trying to dissect anybody's love language at that point. I was actually just using proper etiquette. That's all I was doing. I was just using proper etiquette. I'm not trying to dissect their love language. I wasn't trying to recruit them into anything. Okay? I was trying to figure out what they was coming down my freaking driveway for, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, these little things you got to know, because the funny thing is that we spend so much time. We spend so much time, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes down to, learning so many things, personality types and marketing and this and that and blah, blah, blah. But one of the things that I'm going to tell you is that the people who make the most money in this game of network marketing, they're the people that know the most about people. They're the people that know the most about people. They're not the people. You tend to think that they're the people that got the biggest list. Or they're the ones that are the best marketers. Now, there's some great marketers that really, truly know how to touch a lot of people. But I can tell you that the marketers that are really, really good within their sales copy, they're touching these things. Within their ads, they're touching these things. So you've got to learn to say, well, hold on. One side of the equation is personality types. One side of the equation is, now, is this person a fire, ice, wind, water? They red, they blue, they purple, they green, they're a rhinoceros, they're a snake, whatever some of y'all go through some of these different trainings, right? And then, okay, now that I know that, spend a little bit more time with them. Let me see if I can figure out what their love language is. Now, if somebody isn't taking a love language test, if they aren't taking a love language test, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to take you a little bit of time to figure out what these things are. And 9 times out of 10, you're not going to figure it out from a cold market perspective. It's going to be figured out from a warm market perspective, from people that you know, and you've been knowing them for years. So as I end this, I want you to sit back and think about this. Number one, first question that you need to ask yourself: do you know your top love languages? Do you know your top love languages? What's your number one? What's your number two? What's your number three? What's all the way down at the bottom? What's all the way down at the bottom? You know what I mean? So like for me, Number 5 is receiving gifts. I was never a guy that in my life, throughout my life, I've received a lot of gifts. So I'm not even used to people doing stuff for me. So I'm used to doing stuff for other people. So when people do stuff for me, it's like, oh, that was cool, but I wasn't expecting it, right? That's not my top love language. Alrighty, so do I appreciate that? Absolutely, I appreciate it. Just in case somebody wants to buy me something, just don't get it twisted. I appreciate it, okay, but it's not like my number one. It's not my number one. Okay, so you got to find out, what are these people, what is this person's number one? What is my number one? What is my number 2? What is my number 3? What is my number 4? Okay, what is my husband's? What is my wife's? What is my boyfriend? What is my significant other? You know what I mean? Take it down that rabbit hole a little bit deeper. Then once you figure that out, right, you know those things that make you tick, then it starts to become fun, because now it's a test. It's like, ooh, let me see if I can figure out some of these things with some of these people that I navigate around on a regular basis, some of these people that I do business with on a regular basis. How can I apply this to my business life that can actually create stronger relationships, longer term relationships, and ultimately, for those of you that your main goal is to be able to make more money, ultimately bring more money inside of your household because you took the time to learn more about people. Now, for those of you that have hung out on this for the past, I don't know, 30 minutes or so, and you just hung out on it just to kind of be entertained a little bit, or like, oh, I ain't see say it on the Facebook Live in a little while, I'm going to be the first one to tell you that you missed the boat if you don't take this quiz. You missed the boat if you don't have your significant other, or husband or wife or boyfriend or girlfriend take this quiz. You missed the boat. You missed the boat if you don't take the quiz and then you totally ignore it all and you're like, my neighbor, whatever, my coworker, whatever, this person on my team, whatever, this person over here, whatever. You're missing the boat. Because one thing I can tell you, once you know this, you become dangerous. You become dangerous. You ever seen the movie The Matrix? You become so dangerous. You remember when they started shooting at Neo and he realized that he was the one? Y'all remember when they were shooting at Neo and Neo finally realized that he was the one and he just put his hand up? And he put his hand up and all of a sudden the bullets just dropped. He realized he was the one. And then those guys tried to box him and fight him out and he just started doing all this shit with one hand. He realized he was the one. Once you go through this process, and you get comfortable with it, and you realize more and more of who you are, and you realize more and more of who your kids are, more and more of who your significant other is, more and more of who your boyfriend is, more and more of who your girlfriend is, the more and more you figure this out, the more dangerous you're going to become in business, because you're going to stop speaking from your perspective. You're going to start speaking from other people's perspective. And the more you speak from other people's perspective, the more attractive you are. Period. End of story. And I ain't talking about attractive from a physical appearance. I'm talking about attractive, period. Dudley, the quiz, just go to Google. Go to Google and type in 5 love language quiz. It'll pop up. It's free. It doesn't cost you guys any money. Just go to Google and Google the 5 love languages quiz. Just go Google it. You take it, have your significant other take it, and if your significant other don't want to take the 5 love languages quiz, you should probably get another fucking significant other. I'm just saying. I don't know what to tell you. Excuse my French. Then again, not. You should probably get another one. Because that means that person really don't care that much about the relationship. You know, at the end of the day, this is like a long-term thing, right? If somebody cares about the relationship that they're in and they care about the person that they're with, then they should be willing to do something that's going to take 6 minutes of their life. Legitimately. It took you longer to get married. You know, the freaking wedding was what, 2-3 hours? You know what I mean? Like, you can't take 6 minutes. You took 3 hours in the wedding and you can't take 6 minutes to do the test. No wonder you're getting divorced. Hello, McFly. Take this information, use it with your business. Now, I gave you guys a 20,000 square foot view of this. If you thought that that's the end of it, you are crazy. But one thing that I'm figuring out is that a lot of y'all have realized I've been a little quiet. It's like, oh, well, Cedrick must be, working on his house all day long all the time. Yeah, I've been doing this crazy remodel, and I'm about 2 weeks away from being done. However, I'm in the back cutting some crazy content right now. So I'm just curious. How many of you would love to attend a training? How many of you would love to attend a training that I take this freaking thing down the rabbit hole stupidly deep? I mean, I take it down the rabbit hole that 2-3 hours later, you just come out. You come out like Neo. You put that doggone hand up and the bullets fall. How many of y'all would love it, a private training? It ain't gonna be on Facebook because guess what? I'm gonna be dancing around this a little bit more. Like a lot of my content is gonna be coming off of Facebook, just in case you were wondering. Okay, a lot of this is gonna start coming off of Facebook. So how many of you would like me to take this down the rabbit hole a lot deeper? If you would like me to take it down the rabbit hole a lot deeper, just type in me. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to have my assistant go through here and look and see all the people that said me. And we're going to send you a private inbox. And it's not going to be today. So don't look out for it for today. But over the next 7 to 10 days, we're going to send you a private message. And we're going to invite you to either a private Facebook group or just this private training that I'm going to do to take it down the rabbit hole a little bit deeper. Because guess what? It is worth it. Period. End of story. So with that being said, I'm humbled that you guys spent the last 35 minutes with me. I truly appreciate it. Thank you for the likes, the shares, the emojis, and all that good stuff. If you got some value from this particular training, please let me know inside of the comment section. If you feel that there's somebody on your Facebook wall or somebody, that you can send this to a messenger or share inside of a Facebook group that you feel that they're going to get some value from it, then then hit the button, hit the share button. I call it the love button. Hit the share button and share it. And share it, okay? If there was a word or two that threw you off, well, you know what? I am not opposed to constructive criticism. So if there's a word or two that threw you off, inbox me and let me know. Sage, you know what? I love your content, man, but if you just kind of dropped a word or two, I would probably share it more in some of my groups. Let me know. I'm cool with constructive criticism. Doesn't mean I ain't gonna still drop a bomb or two. However, I'm gonna be more conscious of it. Because guess what? It's 2020. And we want to help you guys change your life because you deserve it, because we are in a very, very, very tricky situation in a very tricky year. And we need to be applying so much information right now because everything is going virtual anyway. So you better take this virtual learning experience and take it to a whole nother level, but then take these bullets that you can acquire and apply them virtually as well as physically when they finally let us off house arrest officially. So with that being said, God bless you all. Thank you so much for the time that you spent with me. I really truly appreciate it. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. If so, let me know inside of the comment section. I'm going to go ahead and end this training as I end all the rest of them. Go out there and make somebody smile today. You already know why, because they deserve it and so do you. Until the next time, deuces.